looks like the rain has given us a break. It's been raining for 3 days, 3 or 4 days, on and off, and just torrential rain. So I've managed to get out. The blue skies are on the way, supposedly. So I'm going to get this permission where I've had Queen Anne, which is quite rare, a lead trade weight. It had AR on it, so, and Regina. It got quite a bit of recognition in the All Things Lead. So that come up on a neighbouring field. Now it was 14 inches down, but it was about that big. Loads of silver up off here, a lead domino, quite a lot of different items going right back. There's loads of Roman activity. I'm hoping I'm going to run this really deep, the Manticore. First time out with it, but I've done about 10 hours in the test garden and learning what the screen's showing and that, and up to now I'm quite gobsmacked of what it's actually painting. It's as if I like doing above ground tests. What I'm finding out with this 2D screen is that I'm learning what it is above ground. It's kind of painting a picture. It's kind of painting a picture, and I'm starting to understand what the traces are doing and stuff like that. So it's as if it's bringing the ground up to like a benchmark test. I don't know if you've seen that film, I'm going off topic here a bit, but sci-fi film The Arrival. Now The Arrival, the aliens come down and their language is painting and numbers. They do swirls with different angles and all that lot. And that was their language, and they had to send in a specialised team to decipher what we're saying, and hopefully with time and time with this, I'm going to be able to read what it's saying, listen what it's saying with the audio, and read what it's saying with the visual. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting for me, as I love detectors. Another interesting aspect, learning its language through visual as well as audio. So okay, first target, this was, if you look at the trail, must be iron in there because it's dragging it right down. It's actually, it's going to take some getting used to what it's actually saying. I dug it on tone, you see. Look at the trace, it was crackers. So yeah, we've got a lovely Roman fib there. Looks like dry handle. Next target. Elongated, all metal. Elongated piece, if we go this way. Still elongated, so it's somewhat long. It's dragged out the signal. But we'll dig that. Yeah, just a bit of copper. Coming up 70s. Elongated. Right across the conductor line. Yeah. So we'll give this a dig. First time in the field, so I will be digging most targets. As that's the only way we'll learn. Small item up here at depth. Now, there was an ID of 24. Now it was so whispery, I've put it on medium on the theme, on the depth theme. And there was nothing coming up on the actual 2D mapping. I don't know if the signal wasn't strong enough, possibly. I wonder what that is. Just because it's deep, I think it's not been ploughed, this land, you see. So generally, if it's deep, it's normally old. But no, we're not going to know what that is or what it's part of. But yeah, pinpointed depth. So if you can see that, I'll just show you. In my depth, I did have it on simple. Now there's so much stuff shallow, and I can't tell the difference in the audio of how deep it is. So I've got on to rich. So anything loud, I'm not digging anything loud because that means it's shallow. I'm more subtle tone I'm going for. This has come up There's a bit of probably iron down there amongst it. It's not the tightest of, the tone sounds great though, and it's quite steady on the ID. Yeah, I will lose volume at depth, but I'm not gonna be digging loads of junk thinking it's deep. I know you can look at the ID, but it's always the way I've searched, with quite a lot of modulation in the audio. So that rich song gives you a lot of modulation in the audio, depth audio. I don't think it's anything too fancy. It looks like rubbish to me. Okay, right, I'm going to leave that field behind. I've dug a lot of stuff, nothing to show. The only two things I'll show is and 2 non-ferrous. Well, I've had a bit of non-ferrous, and just learning the machine. First time out in the field. This has been, I've been over and over these fields before. Obviously we don't cover every part of the field, never. I don't think. So I'm hoping. I've had a lot of stuff over the side there. Now the grass is quite long, but it's wispy. It's not thick. You know what I mean? So I might just go for it anyway. I had a medieval pot leg up here and some George the First and Second. So fingers crossed. And this is so-called field. So yeah, we won't be doing that. It'll be getting cut that soon. It's like this everywhere. It'll be getting cut soon. That. So I've got this field to go at anyway. Now there's a Victorian reservoir just spilt over there. Obviously the world didn't start in Victorian times. But there used to be a shop. I don't know if it's there where that patch is. There used to be a shop around this area somewhere, which is gone now. So I'm going to work this. I'm going to work this side here, up and down, up and down, up and down. I've had some brooches, 1700 coins, a couple of 100 years old. So I wouldn't mind a silver or a gold. Not a fuss, never fuss. When it comes between silver and gold, I'll have any of them, you know. Right, we've got a coin about 45 degrees in the hole there, and it was giving me that trace. So metal. So up near the conductive line. Is it a card? Yeah, it is a card. I think in the right mess. You see the patina coming through. I'll give that a bit of a clean, see if we can get anything off it. Too far gone to see anything. My eyes are just playing tricks with me on that side. It looks like someone's facing left. Quite deep, about 8 inches. It's actually George II. That I can just make it out. It's George II, so 1700s, mid 1700s, 1750, around that area. This could well be another one. Similar ID. Give that a dig. Live dig. So windy up this end. So there's an old mine here. We slid down to some old shops. I've had quite a lot of coins in front. It's very, very iron infested, but there's a lot of coal mines, so yeah, there's a lot of mineralisation, hot rocks. It seems to be coming up 0102. In this, it comes through quite loud. It's about 7-8 inches deep, but I don't think it's that big, to be honest. Whatever it is. Oh, it's a lovely little washer, isn't it? At that depth. Wow, what a beauty. It's come up a 40s, so mid-tone. It's in the spoil here. What's this? It's decorative, but it's not a brooch. It's not a decorative button. Looks like it could have come off a tobacco handle, you know, on top of tobacco tin. Obviously the workers, that's where the mine is. Come sat here, got the backy out. Had a smoke taking in the views and dropped a gold coin. Doubt it. Not that kind of job. I don't think there's going to be anything. We might get a bit of silver up here, but look where I am, right at the top. Unless the owner come up here and I don't know, in his pocket. Right, we've got a bit of wind noise and we've got also the motorway noise. So I hope you can hear this. Quite tight on the inductive line. 43, 44, pretty solid. Okay. It's like a half penny. There's Britannia facing right. So facing left, late 1800s that, because it's a widowhead. Half penny. I'm going to try and keep you out of the wind on this one. Let's just set that brightness so it's got a photocell here, it looks like. So I think that's automatic brightness, like on your phone. Where is it now? Yeah, it is 57. Just coin this, I reckon. Yeah, there we are. You can see the 1, 2, 3 notched at the top there. You see his wreath around his head, and it has gone missing, but I'm sure he has armour on that issue. So another coin, and well over 200 years old, so only 4 inches down. That's discrimination, well, the high and lower limits that I've been using. I've dug one piece of iron, one iron nail. Yeah, I like that. I've been running all metal so I can hear the iron, but normally I run all metal so I can hear the iron, but on this you don't have to run all metal, you know, to change your recovery speed, because you can see all the dots in the targeted out area. It all depends if you want to listen to it or not. So I have been running in depth with a medium profile, no threshold, but what I'm going to do, my iron, when my iron's on, is volume 11 and pitch is which is on there, is set at 3, and my stabiliser, I've got that at 3. I'm going to put that down 1. I'm going to turn that off. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into, I do like, that's my custom 2 that I've got set up. My custom 1's a bit more less extreme, but I'm working on that one. So all terrain general, the info on that is, yeah, target separation, trash rejection, all around performance. I've been using that and I'm staying with that for now. This is what I want to get to. Audio theme, normal, no threshold, simple, medium, rich. I want to keep it at medium. That is to do with simple, medium, rich. That's to do with your modulation. Turn that pinpointer off a second. Right, so my 2 regional all tones, I've got 0 to 9 as a 9 tone with pitch of 8, and then 10 to the maximum of 99. I've got a graduation at 25 volume. I'm going to go with that for the rest of the video. Do a quick test here. I've got it running horseshoe off. There's a lot of iron around there, you can see from the trails and the audio. What is that, falsing, or is that, you see how it's coming down onto the conductor line? I want to see if there's a non-ferrous target amongst the iron. That's the actual target there. Yeah, that's what it were. But as you pinpointed, it went over it and then you got an iron tone. But I was swinging the coil in there and getting like a decent signal as if it was amongst iron. But it wasn't, it was just picking the edge up and falsing on this piece of iron. It's not even that big. So you could change your limits, your upper limits, you could bring them down a bit, or you could just dig some of these just to get non-ferrous from ferrous. I feel like this really, I could drop my upper limits. I could actually drop them a bit because it's not that iron infested. But if you get on an iron infested patch, you just want to get it measured right, just so you're finding like non-ferrous and ferrous at the side of each other in the same hole. All ferrous will react different, especially when it's wet. But this is the risk we take if we're amongst iron with the ferrous limits. The upper limits are for your small nails like that, so that will be falsed at the top end. The lower limits are more for like your bottle caps and your flat iron, your bigger iron, your round iron, your iron rings and stuff like that. You can actually get rid of the iron rings by putting it near enough up to the non-ferrous conductive line. So I'm going to call it a day. It's been a great learning day. Good to, I've been doing a lot of tests, benchmark tests in the garden, so it's nice to get out in the field, relate to what I've learnt, and I've learnt quite a bit in the field as well. There's something that I'm not 100% sure before I mention it. I need to get some more hours and more hours and more items dug. The way the screen, what the screen is actually showing you. I've got it in my head, but I want to make sure, give you any untrue information that might mislead you. I've got to make sure I'm 100% myself. Other people using the Manticore might already know this, but I've got something that I'm going through, I'm testing. Once I know 100%, I'll mention it. So we did get some bits up. I was very surprised. It's in general, and the tiniest things. I need a more sensitive pinpointer. He was tiny and he was a good 6-7 inches down. It took me ages to find them. I thought there was something up with my pinpointer, but they were just that small. So let's have a look what the good is. I've dug a lot of all sorts of stuff, all sorts. I've got one nice nail, all sorts of just bits of screws, brass screws and that. I had that up and I thought it was a thimble. I'm not too sure what it is. It's some kind of cap. These are the better stuff, which isn't that great, but it's not shite, it's actually history. So yeah, 3 coins, that dome thing, that door handle, and that tobacco tin top handle. And yeah, not much, but like I say, this isn't a great permission anyway. There's a lot of trash in the ground, a lot of green waste, and I've been over it numerous times. But what I have learnt, I might have not found history, I've learnt some knowledge on the Manticore, and there is a lot to learn on it. There is a lot to learn on it, but what I'm seeing at the moment, I'm liking. It's nice and light. The build, you've got to get your coil right. It's a bit like, you know, because it's a round thingy, you got to put it on the floor flat and then get your thingy right, tighten it down. Once it's tightened down, you're okay. It's just a bit of faffing about because it's rounded and it's not square, so you do have to line it up. It's a bit like, you know, when your front tyre and your handlebars were a bit ski whiff and it felt like you were a bit jaunted. I had it before where I felt like I was like falling over because the control box were in line with the coil, or the control box was straight but the coil were like that. But little nitpicking. I'm liking it, I am liking it. So yeah, if you want to see more of me out with it, tune in on the next one. Alright.